We are Jesse and Moira of La Plante Photo. We are husband and wife wedding photographers from Boulder, Colorado, and we've been shooting together since 2008.
Today we're at Peak Kickboxing and Jiu-Jitsu, and we're going to do some promo photos of some of their fighters using a bunch of our MagMod gear.
All right, so my favorite new MagMod modifier is a combination of the mag ring and the mag shoe. And the reason for that is before MagMod, I had all of these different systems that I would use. And it took a lot of time to go between these different modifiers. But now with the mag ring, I'm able to switch from a large mod like the mag box to a smaller modifier like a grid or the sphere, and back again in just a matter of seconds. So I'm able to use my mental bandwidth to focus on shooting and getting creative as opposed to fussing with my gear and taking a lot of time to set things up. So we started out with 2 mag boxes. We call it ESPN lighting, which is basically 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. Like if you think on a clock face, we're shooting from 6 o'clock and the subject is in the middle of the clock. And we had a gel in the back to backlight a swath of atmosphere aerosol to create a little bit of three-dimensionality in the frame. So from there, we moved the lights from 9 and 3 to 10 and 2 to get it to be a little bit more directional. And we tweaked the backlights and added a second backlight because we had 2 fighters standing apart a little bit, fighting one another. We really wanted to get that pinpoint light on them so we could get those silhouettes.
So the next shot, we did a single backlight, and we gelled it red because we wanted it to be really dramatic. And then Jesse, because he's tall, took the light and used the snoot coming from almost directly overhead because we just wanted the light to come and just skim the front of the fighters. And that way we get very dramatic lighting on the face, but we also lit up their abs as well because they've worked really hard on them.
It's basically like a directional spotlight from directly above that just clips some of the facial features and really shows off the contours of all these rippling muscles that these fighters have. Mm-hmm. So after that, we moved over to the ring and we did some portraits of the individual fighters with their championship belts. And we had 2 soft boxes, one at 5 o'clock and one at 10 o'clock for a little bit of directional light. And then we had 2 lights set up way in the background, firing straight into the camera with blue gels on them. And we stopped way down to like F18, F20 to create kind of like star flares, which sort of mimicked stage lighting a little bit.
So after doing some portraits in the ring, we moved into some action shots. For the action shots, we took away one of the soft boxes, we left the stage lighting in the back, and then I lit with another soft box from the front. And with that one, we came at it from a very high angle so that while Jesse was shooting and he's crouching down to get that low angle, and the fighters are jumping and kicking, we're still getting them with this very directional light. For this shot, we had Colin and Mary spar, and Colin was kicking at Mary while Mary was dodging his kick. And this one, we really had to work with the backlights and move them a couple of times. So we would have them sort of sample what they were going to do and make sure, as we were looking through the camera, that we had the backlights aligned so that at the apex of the action that they were doing, those backlights would be hidden.
So then we moved into a composite. I wanted to get a group shot, but I wanted every single fighter lit individually. So I started out by taking a canvas shot of the ring with none of the fighters in it. And we put the fighters into place and took 7 individual shots, each fighter lit with a mag grid from 90-degree angle. And later we're going to stack those 7 images, or 8 images, including the canvas, together to make one composite.
So we saved the most complicated shot for last. And for this one, what we wanted to do was light the owner of the gym at the front of the boxing ring. And then we were going to have 2 groups of fighters in each corner. So to achieve that effect, what we did was we lit Mike with a soft box from the front. We had 2 lights that were gelled blue in the back, actually behind a fence in another part of the gym. And they were shooting through the boxing ring. And then we had 2 more fighters who actually helped us by spraying the atmosphere aerosol, getting a bunch of it into the air, and then jumping down below the ring as we just popped off a bunch of images.
A lot of moving parts. That's why we saved that image for last, because we knew it would take the longest to achieve. Initial impression is I'm really pleased with this shoot. We're primarily wedding photographers, but it's really cool that we get the opportunity to shoot things that are a little bit more outside the box.
So we really love MagMod because we know that we can always trust their products. It's really important, especially on wedding days when there's a lot of chaos, for us to know that our equipment is going to work. And with MagMod, we know that. And if something does happen, we also know that we can contact their customer service. They stand behind their products. They're always so very helpful with us. Anytime we have a question or a concern, they're willing to answer those.